Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are doing a live cast of a Spy Party Competitive League Season 5 match between Orac and Kotte. And this is my co-caster, Iglini.
Hello, everyone.
And this is my unofficial Spy Party Competitive League cast. Thank you for joining us. So let's take a look at the match that we have ready to start today. This is a Iron Division match between Kotte, currently with a score of 12 in second place, and Orac, currently with a score of 4 in ninth place.
Well, I suppose Coty, I think.
I think it's pronounced Kotte.
Coty. Alright, I'll get the hang of it. If he wins this, he will be in a very good position to tackle the first place, I'm sorry. Especially with the deciding match in week 12, I believe,
Yeah,
with Smitty. Yeah,
Kotte
11th.
is going up
Coty, yeah,
against
yeah.
Smitty in week 12, and so if Kotte wins this match, he will be just 1 point below Smitty. But if anything, Kotte may be in a better position because Smitty does actually have one loss so far, and Kotte has none, currently
In,
undefeated.
indeed, and Coty still has three more matches besides this one. So lots of points to be gained there.
Yeah, and if you just look at the standings, it would be easy to assume that Kotte is the favorite going into this match, just based on how much higher up Kotte is. But the interesting thing is that Orac has definitely been picking up steam, getting two draws in the last few weeks. Notably, one of those draws being this tie party 6-6 against Smitty, who's at the top of the division.
Indeed, and he also has three more games to pick up some wins there, so who knows what this match will bring.
Yeah, Orac is really just fighting to get a win here and, prove that he's capable of that. And I don't think it's impossible. When you have a draw against Smitty the week before, there's really nothing saying that he won't be able to beat Kotte here. But Cotte's definitely the, what's our term? Do we say, I think we say the overcat. Not the underdog, but the overcat.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah.
And so let's take a look at some stats, see how these players have been doing this season. Kotte with a very domineering sniper stat so far, I believe higher than everyone else in Iron Division at the moment. Is that correct?
Yeah, he has about 68, 69 win rate, which is impressive.
It's really impressive,
Also,
and you can see the bar here, spy shot. The top bar is Kotte's stat, and the bottom bar is the division average. And spy shot rate is much, much higher than the division average right now.
yes, indeed it is. And he also has a 0% sniper timeout rate. So there is always a shot and most likely a correct one.
Yeah, and that's always exciting for us because, it means that we know that every game where Kotte's the sniper is probably going to come down to a shot. And the question is, does Oric know that? Because that's the sort of thing you can research and you can see, oh, well, my opponent never lets the spy time out, so maybe I can play a game where I don't finish and they might just shoot a civilian because they always take a shot. But, it's a low
Yeah,
sample size.
it is, but I guess Aura could play a bit into it, pick some framing maps, so maybe.
Yeah, let's see if Oric likes any of these maps where, you might time out. Orac picks gallery a lot, so we can probably expect to see a gallery pick coming today. Kotte hasn't played much gallery this season, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes if it does get chosen.
Yeah. Kote has picked a lot of this season and, well, win everything in modern. So I suppose that could be a pick for him or a ban for Orac.
Yeah, meanwhile, if we look at Kotte's picks, this is the one that I found interesting when I was looking at this just before we got started here. Modern picked 4 times, but only has 5 games on it, which I guess the most logical explanation would be that it's usually the single pick and that he doesn't necessarily get there every time.
Yeah, maybe. But when he gets, whoa.
So it is 2 o'clock EDT now, so we should be getting a draft code at any moment. Let me know if you see it pop up in game.
All right.
But until then, we can keep looking at some stats here. So for Kotte, the most notable stats, again, these are all pretty low sample size, but we do have a 100% win rate on Modern in 5 games. So it makes sense that Kotte picks that a lot. It could be something that Orac might want to ban since Orac's stats on Modern are not quite as high.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have a draft code in the Spy Party lobby.
Great, thank you. I'm getting that open. And the other notable stat that Kotte has is this 70% win rate stat on Terrace across both roles. With 20 games, that's a much better sample size. And Terrace isn't a super popular pick for a lot of people, so it's interesting that Kotte picks it and does really well on both roles.
Yes, and funny enough, it's a good. Well, it's an alright framing map.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea when you're Spy on Terrace is that you always have to at least keep in mind the possibility of framing. If you never frame, then the sniper will know that it really is the straightforward choice. But if the sniper knows that you might be framing, the delegate can come down to a 50-50 sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a good option to have in your back pocket.
So the coin flip is happening. Kotte has won the coin flip and will pick map second. Orac deciding whether or not to sniper or spy first.
And he will play Spy second.
Great. Some other notable stats from Kotte. High sniper win rate on Library so far, 4 out of 5 sniper games there. And our first ban is in from Orac, and it is Tayen.
Well, pretty standard ban. Still not a very big map.
No, but there are some people who think that if you're the underdog going into a match, you might want to pick Tayen since that will make it harder on the other player and you might be able to get some spy wins in there.
Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, it's a 50-50, and if you are willing to take those odds, it's a pretty good map.
Kotte's ban is Aquarium.
Oh, sad ban, but understandable. Maybe he doesn't feel very comfortable yet. It is the newest map now.
Yeah, and so we have both of these occlusion maps banned, and Tayen ban is pretty common, but Aquarium definitely split on. There are some people who ban it, because it's new, because of the occlusion, but there's also a lot of people who find it really fun. And in general, it just seems like people consider it a lot more balanced and fair for both sides than Tayen.
Yeah, and I mean, it's new for everyone, so not. Both of these players probably don't have a lot of games there. It would have been a fun match, probably.
Yeah, and I think the newness, you can tell that that's a factor when you look at some of the lower divisions or maybe even Challenger, where I don't think these two maps get banned as often because, sure, they're new, but they're new to everyone at that level. All the maps are new, rather, to people who have just started recently.
Yeah, and we have our first pick from Orac, and it's Pub, and it's 305.
That's an interesting one.
Yes, wasn't really expecting it.
No, and Orac's stats on pub aren't super great at the moment. 43% spy, 29% sniper, but this might be a counter pick against Kotte.
Yes, probably maybe he is going into the framing possibility.
Yeah, I mean,
Which,
basically, if you think there's a sniper who is going to catch all of your mission wins on larger maps and shoot you, which, Kotte very well could with such a high sniper stat, you might want to pick a 3 of 5 where they could shoot an AI or where you could frame someone. But
yes,
Kotte is not worried about this. Kotte has chosen high rise any 3 of 5.
well, I must say I was expecting something like Terrace, but high rise, it's a pick.
Well, Kotte does pick high rise relatively often. Kotte has no games on pub this season, or any season, since this is his first season. Uh, but Kotte did play in the Winter Cup. That was his competitive debut. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it was he. I believe he finished first in his group, which was quite a surprise for a newcomer.
Yeah, and then went down, I believe, in the second round to Warning Track, which is
Yeah,
understandable.
yes, yes. Standard stuff.
Oh, interesting. Looks like Ranmili is watching Orac's stream, who's also streaming his perspective live, and Orac was expecting Modern and Library. But no, it was High Rise, something very, very different than Modern and Library. And so Orac has chosen Gallery, any 4 of 8, and
I
Kotte
mean,
has now chosen Modern, any 5 of 8.
alright, the last picks are a bit more standard for these players, but I think we're in for a very interesting match with a very interesting start.
All right, and it looks like the players are getting in game now, so I will get that open. Waiting for players to synchronize. So just to confirm, we are on autoplay next game with streaming mode on, and at the start of each game, we will both pause. I will count it down. 3, 2, 1, play in it.
Alright, sounds good.
And Orac is spying second, which means the first sniper will be Kotte.
Correct.
Looking at the mission setup, looks like they still haven't started selecting their missions because swap is on, and I'm certain that's not what they want.
Yeah, probably. Let's hope they don't start by mistake. I'm sure it won't happen.
Yeah, it looks like Orac chose Gallery because of comfort. That's the quote that I'm getting. Which makes sense. Doesn't want to pick a 5 out of 8 versus Kotte. And that seems to tie into what I was suspecting earlier, which is that, with Kotte's high sniper rate, you don't want to pick a map where you're sure that Kotte will be able to track your missions and know that you've finished. You would rather pick something like Pub, where any AI could be finishing and Kotte has to make a shot based on other factors, and also Gallery, where you might be able to get away with something like a swap with your back facing the sniper at the end, might be able to get away with a bug in a really crowded area, or a purloin.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't want a map where AIs probably won't finish.
Yeah, and we're seeing also what I was suspecting, which is that Modern seems to be a common second pick for Kotte, but not the first pick.
Yes, I suppose that is correct. In the meantime, missions have been picked and we have swap off and purloin off. So, kind of a softail variant of pub.
And it looks like the game is starting.
Alright.
3, 2, 1, play in it.
Alright, so first we have Cory as Oprah, going, well, nowhere, really. Probably we are just eyeing down the seduction target, which settles down in a pretty nice conversation, so we know he won't be going away by the time we get there.
The ambassador was in that conversation as well, which made it a really nice spot to be, but unfortunately they left, and we're just getting our first flirt up to 34%. Ooh, and we're going for the briefcase. We don't get to it before the seduction target does. We cancel out of it, but considering you hadn't even started to bend down, you're not really getting an opportunity to look very AI-like with a cancel like that, which probably wasn't even really noticed.
Yeah, and now we are, well, probably waiting for the seduction target again. There hasn't been a lot of bar visit. Oh, we have purloin off, never mind.
No, and we are walking into the statue. Rocker went to statues, but isn't getting a highlight for it. Oh, there's the highlight. It was a little bit delayed. I was wondering if Orac might not be highlighting for those. I noticed that we walked into the statue pad while Rocker was already there, which, again, maybe at just my oak level, I tend to like it when a guest does that. I think, a spy will tend to walk there after the other person has left, and so it's a good move to start walking while they're already there.
Yeah, AIs tend to do that a bit, so I suppose we could be playing a bit into that.
The
In the
ambassador
meantime, to
enters
get.
conversation with us, but they walk right by us. We could curve around and try a bug here, but it wouldn't be a very natural path.
No, and this isn't a very good banana bread either.
Banana bread.
Well, we take it either way. We
No, it
knock
looks like
out
Smallman
two
gets low lit.
statue visitors, too.
Yeah, Smallman and Rocker were both out for that, so maybe not the best timed banana bread if Kotte was watching the statue visitors.
Yeah, now we have a fingerprintable statue, if we wanna go that way.
I think it's probably best to just finish with the Seduce at this point. The problem with that is you've eliminated all the other statue visitors, so if you try to finish with the Seduce, you might get shot. Though, the fact is we haven't been shot yet just for the statue visit and the banana bread, so might be able to get away with just flirting one more time.
Yeah, maybe.
And look, Teal almost blocked us out there, but Teal left us room next to the seduction target, and we walked across the circle from them, but still got the flirt done. No shot coming off, even though we are one of only 2 statue visitors, and we were in for the real BB.
Alright, 1-0 for Cory, a very, very normal game, and well, a good win for him.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the sniper in a position like this, you just have to sort of be evaluating each of those statue visitors. Can they be finished? Do I think it's the spy, or do I think that was probably just an AI who went to statues? And we don't know what went into Orac's decision there, but there could be a number of factors, including what I mentioned earlier, just the way that Kotte entered the statue while someone else was already there. You know, when you don't have a lot to go on for deciding about each statue visitor, that could be something that you think, no, I don't think they would have done that.
Yeah, and I mean, if he wasn't like really flirt pairing, it would have been a very hard shot to make.
Yeah, and Renmilia is suspecting that maybe Orac was tunneling too much on the fingerprints and forgot about the much simpler option, which is that the spy can just do one statue.
Yeah, probably.
All right, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now we got Orac on the spy side with. And we are. Well, we are going inside. Purloin is still off. Well, now would be a kind of a bad timing to chase down the seduction target. She will probably leave, yeah.
No, and so we're adding time instead. It was a white test, but I don't know if Coddy's looking for it at this point.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't
really
seem
expect
like it
people
was
to do
noticed.
time ads on pub near the start necessarily, because it's a map where you already have a lot of time anyway. I expect them more near the end, if, you know, the seduction hasn't been working out for the spy or something like that.
Yeah, in the meantime, we get a white flirt for 34%. Not a bad start.
Meanwhile, we have one highlight on Irish. Presumably that was for statues, but no one else really going to statues yet. The ambassador at a window pad, but now looks like they're going to leave a print somewhere. Is it the statue or the bar? It's the statue.
Yes, and it seems like we are chasing the seduction target. Well,
No. They went inside and we broke off the chase,
Yeah.
which is good because we wouldn't really have been able to follow them to statues unless we wanted to do a very, very cheeky flirt.
yes, and
passing
now
by
looks
the
like we are going
ambassador.
for the fingerprint. And we pick up a highlight, but might just be for, well, a statue visit.
Yeah, but, you know, on a 3 of 5 like this, it shouldn't be too hard to keep track of where the prints are, so Kotte should know that there's a print on that statue, and that should shoot Orac up to the top of the threatening list. We stepped in next to Teal at the bar to flirt with her, we didn't even request a drink, and then we left.
Yeah, that was a weird move. Not sure if it was noticed.
I think it could not have been noticed. You don't really expect a spy to do that. Even if I flirt with someone by the bar and want to leave, I request my drink and then I wait a moment and then I leave.
Yeah, maybe a reject or something. Well, Teal also went for a half print. Don't know if Kotte is keeping track of that.
And we're standing in conversation with the ambassador now. My guess is that Orac is just waiting for that ambassador to leave and then wants to pick up the briefcase. And the time ad coming in handy here because no one is invading the ambassador's personal space, so we don't know when he might leave. It could take a while.
Yeah, we knock off Teal with this banana bread. Though. And we get shot for it.
We get shot. Yeah, we didn't necessarily need to banana bread there. We could have won with another fingerprint and by finishing the seduce.
Yeah, silent game, very strong on pub, but with the ambassador standing still, I suppose he could have gotten a bit worried.
Yeah, even though we did have the time ad, there was still over a minute left. It could have been possible to get that print and then walk in a conversation with the ST. But, you know, when you're getting a print from a statue like that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to finish with prints. You could just be leaving yourself the option.
Yes, of course. And well, it didn't seem that like he could finish with fingerprints either way.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, Kotte on the spy side with Blink Twin, I suppose, and we bug. And we get shot. Okay.
I didn't even have time to update the spy picture. Alright, here. Here you go. Here's your Bling Twin, and now he's gone.
Alright. You did your job.
And that was, so Kotte was up 2-0 before that, and now that was 1 point for Orac. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Great. I always love it when a match ends before I can even look at it. I'm just updating the scoreboard, and when I look back at the game, it's over.
It was a pretty nice match, and looks like we're mixing things up with Purloin Oil.
Nice. I wonder if they announced that to the other player, or maybe just switch it.
Yeah, not really sure. Maybe they realized that fingerprints could be a bit hard and didn't want to take the risk like last time.
Yeah, that's true. It seemed like they weren't confident about getting a second fingerprint, so maybe they decided they just don't want that strategy after all. Alright, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, we got Orac as... And we are going to a... well, innocent conversation. Seduction target is Steel once again. Going to statues.
Oh, my game froze for a moment, I feel. Sorry if that was visible. Yeah, we're just sitting in this useless conversation. The camera's not even necessarily looking. The camera's looking at the ambassador who just took a drink. We might want to go get that print. We also want to get the briefcase. But instead, we're just heading over to the window. The seduction target is getting the briefcase.
Yeah, but fingerprint is off this game. We have Purloin instead.
Oh, God, yeah, we were just talking about that. My bad. And so with Purloin on, then the question becomes, is this a good time to delegate? And it doesn't look like there were a lot of people at the bar before us, so the suspect pool would be now.
Wheels? Not really sure. Was it the bar? I think we are highlighting for bar now.
Yeah, but Wheels was also at a statue, I think, but maybe the highlight came off while he was at the bar. Orac not really looking around the rest of the party here, just getting the flirt done, probably considering whether he wants to delegate to the seduction target.
Yeah, now that she's getting a drink, we could also maybe fake a delegate.
Yeah, I don't think we delegated to her unless I missed it in the action log.
No, she left by herself.
She left of her own free will and went to the bar.
Yeah, she doesn't like us very much.
That's funny. That's the kind of situation where if you're suspicious of Hare, you might be like, I think Hare delegated to Teal. It must have not gone off in time, but I'm pretty sure she did it.
Wow, and we just get shot.
Oh, wow, you were a little bit ahead there, but why did we get shot?
Oh yeah, I suppose I was a bit oops.
Could it be that it really was, like I said, that Hare was suspected for delegating to Teal even though she didn't do it? Oh, Legorv is saying there was a
Yes.
time ad. I think maybe we both missed that one. But either way, even if you suspect the time ad, Hare hadn't done anything. She hadn't bugged, the Purloin was still there, and she hadn't been to a statue, so you know that she can't be finished unless you just missed something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she could have been finished with anything. Maybe the seduce and contact, but still, one mission to go.
Alright, and so that's Kotte going 3-1 on pub, which was Orac's pick. Heading into high rise now. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Okay, we got Kotte with General. Starting the game at Windows. Our seduction target is also at Windows, but, well, very far away from us.
We're waiting at this painting pad, seeing where the seduction target goes, as well as the ambassador. The ambassador is in a buggable spot at the back of that conversation, but it looks like we're just going to start by chasing the flirt instead, which is much safer.
Yeah, we also pick up the book first, and then we get a green flirt for 51. Very nice.
Yeah, so for the missions here, we just have the 3 hardtails off. We have the most standard one. Fingerprints are on here. And it is a little bit harder for the sniper to track them here compared to pub because there are bookshelves in addition to statues and drinks.
Yeah, now we go to Windows, and, well, seduction target it's in a very interesting spot. Nearly missed the path.
Yeah, and we step in, we try to flirt with them, but we don't get it done in time because they were already at that pad for a while. And this seems like a
Yeah.
common thing that happens. I was just watching Warning Track talk about this yesterday, how a lot of spies will chase their ST to a painting pad when they've already been there for a while, and the spy leaves before, the ST leaves before you get there, and you fail your flirt. And it's, no one's surprised because you didn't get there in time, and you should have
Yeah,
known it.
indeed. And now we get a difficult fingerprint from the briefcase. And we enter the conversation with the double agent, and it's an okay banana bread. I believe it can get better.
Yeah, now the seduction target is entered. Rocker's a highlight, and she's not in. And Rocker does
Banana
something
bread.
very weird with the briefcase, and I worry that she might get shot. She took a stop around the edge of
Yeah.
that conversation circle, and I don't know why she did, but if she's already a suspect, this could induce some major, major tunneling.
Yes, she wasn't in for banana bread, so that's one low light he could have gotten.
That's true.
And we bugged. Alright.
Yeah, it could look like Rocker. Could it maybe look like Rocker joined the conversation to Banana Bread with a green and then
Yeah,
left?
she was at the back, but she was, well, trying to return the briefcase.
This is a very interesting choice to go for inspects here. You've already bugged, you've done your contact, you can win just with seduce, but instead we're going and getting one inspect from a statue. That's a
Yeah, we
very
have
strange
a lot of
decision.
options.
The only reason that decision sort of works in your favor is because the sniper will see that and think, alright, he still needs to do a second inspect. And actually that might be why Kotte did it, and it works. We get a green flirt and we're just gonna win here easily.
Yeah, probably did that to trick the sniper a bit, make him forget that we could just seduce to win, and I don't think that bug was visible at all.
No, the bug wasn't seen, and I think I spoke a little bit too soon saying it was what did I say, an interesting move to go to the statues, because that carries a connotation of weird, but I actually think it's a really, really good move now that I've thought about it, because it makes the sniper think that, the only way you'll win if you're the spy is if you go for another statue, because it especially makes it look like you haven't bugged. If the bug path was even suspected, now they're thinking, no, if he bugged, he wouldn't go to statues, and if he's gone to statues once, he's gonna go for a second visit. So if General goes for a second visit, I'll shoot him. And then, of course, the second visit never comes because you don't need it.
Yeah, That's very well thought. Or maybe he just went to statues to break up Flirt, and we are here coming up with a nice story behind it.
And it looks like Renmilia is confirming for us that we were tunneled on Rocker and Smallman, and that the bug was not seen.
Yeah, too bad on the Rocker part. She could have been a lowlight and tunneling a bit hard on her.
Yeah, she could have been. Maybe the contact came right when she was doing her weird stop, which could have made it look like she was in conversation, which is a really bold play, but I have seen it before. You pick up the briefcase and it puts you in conversation, and you just do a green banana bread and then walk out, and it looks like you were delivering the briefcase the whole time.
Yes, very nice. Aspects off. We have Purloin instead.
Inspects off, Purloin on. That is an interesting one. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, we have wheels for Orac this time. And we are going to Windows, because our ST is doing things.
Well, the AI controlled us over to Windows anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we're checking the watch to add time. High-Rise is considered not a great venue to try a time add-on as a spy because the windows are all directly facing the sniper and they can see you very, very clearly.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it was noticed. We were zoomed in at the time, so Wheels was completely off the picture.
We're being very respectful with our flirt. We didn't enter too close to Boots, but that means we only get 27%, which is fine because we did a time ad, so we will have a lot of time to finish this flirt throughout the match.
Yeah, in the meantime, I don't know if we are timer flirting here. We have a fingerprint if you wanted in the green bookshelf.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have time to timer flirt because we did the time ad, but it still doesn't seem like the best use of time. But it could be a really good way to lower suspicion.
Alright, we leave to innocent conversation.
This is interesting. I do wonder if Orac could be doing what I speculated before the match started, maybe playing a game where he doesn't intend on finishing. But no, that doesn't line up with leaving inspects off. So it must be that he wants the flirt. Has to go over to the bookcase to get it, but you have to sip. And cancelled. Seduction cancelled. Didn't get there in time. And
Yeah, and our seduction target does a weird bounce and gets low lit for it. So that's one less frame target.
yeah, that's unfortunate. And I know that Kotte does like to give out lowlights when possible to people with good pathing or good etiquette. And on a 3 of 5 map, that can be really, really helpful.
Green banana bread, which is nice.
We got
We
highlight
still
for
get
it,
highlight.
though. Oh, it's because we're the only
Yeah,
ones in the conversation with the double agent. That's unfortunate for Orac that the other SDA was not in conversation.
Yes,
Gives
he
Kotte
was
a
one
lot
of the
info.
2 people out of conversation.
Yeah, that's unlucky, and that happens sometimes. And there's nothing you can really do about that in one game, but you can do something about it on a meta level if you make sure to do fakes occasionally so that the sniper can never be too sure about it, even if one SDA is out.
Yeah. Although here one of the conversation was, well, not very full, so even these highlights, they were okay.
It makes a lot of sense to assume real
Yeah.
here.
Well, even with the timeout, we have 1 minute left, and we have, well, nothing else done.
But we did just get a
Oh, we
fingerprint
have
off
a
a
fingerprint.
drink.
That's very nice.
And that's going to look really good. The ambassador isn't even in the room anymore, so unless you were tracking it, it would be sort of hard to tell that Orac just got a drink fingerprint there. It's one thing if the ambassador is standing right next to you with the drink, but when she's off over by the windows, it's really hard to make that connection if you weren't following it closely.
Yes, although we get a third white test on the seduce, so we will need another one.
Yeah, the only good thing about it is that we might not be super flirt paired because we didn't enter close to Boots at the start, and we're still not as close to her as possible. We're gonna go for the briefcase, maybe? No, we're heading over to the window instead. Right next to the ambassador, we could bug, but it would fail, and we really need another print, but we can't get the briefcase while the ambassador is there, and it looks like we're just
Yeah.
gonna time out, not able to get that second print.
Unless we Pearline, but it's gonna be. Well, we put a white test. It's gonna be a shot.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
visible,
overtime.
slow fade, highlight took
Yeah.
it. Oh god, there were people doing their best to
That's.
block that shot. Toby crossing, Oprah trying to block it with
Oh,
her hand, but luckily Wheels was stationary, so we were able to get the shot.
that was a lot of bodyguards for that shot.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate that we weren't able to get the second print. Did the finger oh my god. Did the briefcase have a print on it while it was sitting there?
I'm not sure. I think the ambassador had dropped it off there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. That briefcase would have been pickable up. Pick upable. Oh god, I'm struggling with words. It would have been possible to pick up that briefcase and get the print if only the ambassador wasn't hanging around there the whole time, but she was. She just wouldn't let it out of her sight.
Yeah, she was guarding her briefcase.
All right. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, now we are. Rocker once again. We've been seeing a lot of Rocker and Oprah this set, and we try to get the seduce, but seduction target is having none of it.
And that's what we were just talking about. If you go to them at the painting pad when they've already been there for a few seconds. Alright, it looked like we were chasing them again to the window, but instead we pick up the briefcase. That's good, a nice early print, but it looks like we get a highlight for it, so...
Yeah, and then we go after the seduction target. This time we get a green test for 51%. Very nice.
That's good. It's possible that the first attempt at the painting flirt was seen and we could be flirt paired, but since Alice left the first one, it's more likely that we weren't paired, so we shouldn't get in too much trouble for chasing her over to the paintings there.
Yes, and now we enter the conversation on opposite sides, so trying to avoid the flirt pairing if possible.
Yeah, the ambassador just took a drink. It would have been a good time to call Toby over, make him go clockwise instead of counterclockwise, but we already had a drink, so we weren't able to do that, and we were not willing to gulp it.
Yeah, now the SDA is also in, but there are a lot of people out of conversation.
Looks like we're getting word that Orac is highlighting for prints here. Based on some opposition research, Orac believes that Kotte likes to do fingerprints and is going to highlight for prints, probably instead of statues. And hey, it's a good
Yeah,
move. Kotte's going for prints.
Yeah, I suppose it's a good strat. I mean, AIs are very less likely to finish inspects, so. Although we have Irish at center statues.
Yeah, I do wonder which one it's more likely for an AI to finish on high-rise, statues or prints. I wonder if there's been any research done about this. And we're passing by the ambassador, attempting a bug on our way in.
Oh, I think
It didn't
that
take.
barely didn't.
No, and the reason it didn't take is because we did it while we were still walking, which made it a walking bug instead of a standing bug, and those have a lot shorter range. And so we stopped just short of the ambassador, and that means the circles were just not touching enough for the walking bug to take.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was noticed. No visible reaction. I mean, if it was noticed, we would be dead. But
We tried to go for the briefcase, General got it. We did a cancel, but not a super AI-like cancel because we hadn't really bent down a lot, so it was hard to see if the timing of our jolt away was bad. And we're getting the bug again, and
yeah,
it was
but
seen.
that it was a valiant effort. But yeah, way too visible.
Yeah, when someone goes for two bugs of the same kind like that, it makes me think that they were maybe a little bit stuck on a certain game plan. Which I think is something that can happen often for less experienced players, myself included.
Yeah, I also attempt that quite a bit. If the first one doesn't take, I try it again, like a redo of it.
Yeah, I mean
Not a good idea.
the skill that the expert spies have to be able to adapt to every situation and watch everything around them and always know what the best mission to do is it's a lot harder to cultivate than you might imagine. I mean, I can't say for sure what Cody was thinking here, but if I was a spy and you see me do something like that, it's probably because I just had it in my mind that I wanted to do, a walking bug entering conversation, and I can't ditch it even when it doesn't work.
Yeah, and the first one barely taking that. That's gotta hurt.
All right, and so we have one match left on High Rise. If Orac gets another point here, then Orac will have tied High Rise. But if Orac loses this one, Cody will be on match point.
Yeah, and Purloin is still off as it seems. Not changing the missions again, I suppose. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, now we have. Who do we have a spy?
We have Kane, also known as Morgan, Papa Danger.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We're
Morgan
starting,
Freeman is spy.
yeah, we're starting off at the bookcase, totally innocent book. There's no print on it, microfilm is off, and we enter conversation with the double agent, and it's a very full conversation. In fact,
Yeah, not
Alice
a
is
bad
the only
banana bread,
person.
yeah.
Oh no, Alice and Twin were the only ones not in it, which
Banana
means
bread.
one of them would have to be the SDA. But we waited just a little bit too long to do the contact, and that means Rocker had time to get the briefcase, and so more lowlights available than we would have wanted.
And then I suppose we got highlight for white banana bread.
That makes sense. You don't often see a highlight for white banana bread, but I have taken them sometimes. If there's nothing else to look at and you just see that someone is the one talking during the banana bread, statistically they are more likely to be the spy than the people who aren't talking. And it can't hurt
Yes,
to
that
keep
is true.
track of that.
We are just killing some time here while our seduction target is reading.
Yeah. And the ambassador is in this conversation. We could walk over to the bookcase and try bugging while walking, but they leave. We're not going to get that. We're getting a flirt, bringing it up to 66%.
Yes, the seduction target was very nice to come to us for once.
Yeah. Could do another contact now. A lot of people in conversation and could muddy things up.
Yeah, even though it was for sure a fake. Only the
Well,
ambassador with an SDA.
yeah, there was someone in conversation with the double agent just a moment ago, but they're gone now. And it looks
Yes,
like
and
we're
we
just
are
going to
going
go
for
in for an
statues.
inspect.
I don't think we've had a lot of statue visitors this game.
No, it looks like we have two other highlights, but I don't know if they were for statues. In fact, I think the highlights were still just for the real BB, possibly.
Yeah, I think they are. Well, we'll get our seduce done.
I feel like just the fact that Orac got highlight for talking during the BB might mean that he's a really big suspect. Not that that would necessarily be tunneling, it just feels like Cody might be working under an assumption that that Kane is the most likely spy at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think we can survive a second visit to statues. That could have been a good reverse buyback. I think I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah, reverse drive-by.
Yeah.
Which is what we call it when you bug the ambassador while you are standing and they are walking behind you. And we're going in for the statue visit. Can we avoid getting shot? My bet is on no. Hey, I was right.
Yes. I mean, we were the only one doing something in that party. Everyone else was pretty stationary.
Yeah, combine that with just the white BB. Apparently might have done Orac in there. And so Kotte has now gone 3-1 on pub and 3-1 on high rise, bringing it to a total of 6-2. And this is match point for Kotte. One more win wins the match, but Orac is still fighting for a potential tie, though it'll be pretty hard to do that at this point. Would have to win 4 matches in a row.
Yeah, we are going to gallery, which was Orac's pick, but Orac hasn't had a lot of luck with it, although he may have been practicing to surprise us with this pick.
Yeah, and this is where we're going to see some of Kotte's more traditional sniper play theoretically, and maybe see what it is that's giving Kotte such a high sniper rate on, 4 of 8 and 5 of 8 venues. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, we have Teal as the spy for Kotte. And we are going outside. Probably a timeout. I don't know if... Yeah, we are not going for it.
Could have been a good time to do it. Everything was inside. The ambassador, Toby was at the back. There was nothing really outside to watch.
Yeah, we are just going in for our first flirt. It's a pretty full conversation.
Yeah, we had to jam ourselves in there a little bit, but it's probably not a big deal. I think the conversations on gallery get pretty full pretty often, and I don't know if it's something Orac's really going to be watching for.
Yeah. Right now we are probably waiting for the seduction dog next move.
And we go pick up the briefcase, so we're going to be starting off with apparently nothing. No fingerprint on that briefcase.
Whoa.
And that's really unfortunate. It's sort of a double whammy for a spy if you pick up a briefcase with no fingerprint on it, because the sniper might not really be tracking it to know that it has no print, so they might just credit you for a print anyway. Meanwhile, you got nothing out of it and you wasted
Yes. It's quite unfortunate. Meanwhile, we have our seduce up to 68%. And sadly, this is not the real DA, so no banana bread here, even though it would have been a very good time for it.
Yeah, General is being very active, I'm hearing reported. Was at statues, then went to a bookcase, then picked up the briefcase. So General seems like a high suspect for Orac right now. The only thing is that briefcase still did not have a fingerprint on it, as far as I can tell. So if Orac was tracking the briefcase, he would know that General was just wasting time by getting it.
Yeah, right now we are probably going outside for our banana bread.
It's a very
If
full
we
conversation.
Can... Well, we fit. We
Banana
are
bread.
tiny.
Contact comes
Ooh,
off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lowlights. Not lowlighting Pearls at that painting pad. I think she was available, but could have looked
Yeah,
like
I
a splitter.
think so too. And we get a timeout. We knock off General with this banana bread, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Kotte, but Kotte had no way of knowing that. Oh god, we missed a pad,
the miss.
failed planting bug while walking, and we missed a pad to do it. And I mean, if we're being honest here, you don't necessarily need to hit that pad. It's a painting pad. It's not going to be obvious if you're just standing next to it instead.
Yeah.
And
Right now we are, well, doing the seduction target is, well, doing weird things.
Alice tries to take a statue, but it's ours. We get it before she gets it.
Yeah.
And I believe Zero Doom was just commenting about the conversation entry earlier for the banana bread. I think that conversation was a little bit too full, and I think if it was an AI, they would have stopped outside the door and turned back instead of jamming themselves in like
Yeah,
that.
most likely. And we instead talk. We get the bug now. Not sure how visible it was. I think it looked alright.
Yeah, and it looks like Orac is suspecting Pearls for a banana split. From my perspective, it looked like Pearls was out the whole time, but it could be that she left. We enter conversation, we insta-talk to get the flirt, and then we stop talk. And I guess that's
we
just a
leave
matter of
right
time.
away.
We had to leave. I mean, we have to go do our
Yeah.
last mission. And can we survive this next inspect trip? I mean, we're the only highlight. We should get shot for going to statues with 20 seconds left.
Indeed, we are completing it. Unless we don't suspect the bug at all, but it was a pretty visible bug path.
No shot, even though we're the only highlight and we are finishing inspects.
Whoa.
And that's the 7th point for Kotte. That's a win.
Yeah, that's game. I'm a bit surprised shot didn't come off there.
Yeah, I was really expecting a shot there. Highlight doing statues in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, and that quick convo leave. Well,
Well, that's the match for Kotte. We didn't get to see Kotte's sniper play on a 4 of 8, but this does mean that Kotte is now in a very clear second place, right behind Smitty at the top of the division. So I'll just check with both of these players if either of them want to join us for a post-game interview. And in the
alright.
meanwhile, we will award the medal to Kotte. Yay!
Yeah, very nice medal.
Yeah, very nice games from Kotte, but Orac had, what was it, 2 wins, and those were both pretty good as well. Definitely had those 2 games where he was on top of what Kotte was doing, but Kotte ultimately won out.
Yeah. In that last game, it was, well, maybe not a good tracking of missions. I think it was winnable for Orac.
Yeah, I think that last one was definitely winnable. I mean, Teal did try to bug multiple times, and she was a highlight. I'm not sure what she was a highlight for.
I think it was for statues, the first visit.
Great, so Orac's going to join us. We're going to head on over to headquarters voice chat.
Hello, Dells.
Hello, hi Orac.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can see the lights on, but I can't hear you.
That's strange. Orac says he can't hear me. Iglini, can you hear me?
I can hear
Oh,
both of you.
oh, that's better. Okay, sorry, I had my volume set wrong.
Oh, alright.
Alright.
Alright, Orac, how you feeling?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't give you a more exciting game. It was a bit of a wipeout, really, wasn't it?
I mean, in terms of score, maybe, but Spy Party matches always come down to the wire. You know, they often change on a dime or come down to just one small thing. You know, that last gallery game, Teal was going to statues at the end, so that was exciting.
I didn't even see the statue visit at the end because I was too busy zooming in on Amber in that back conversation.
Oh, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, that was just. He was in such a buggable position, and I was like thinking there's going to be bugs or bugging the Amber to finish, and yeah, so I was looking out for that. I wasn't really looking for a last second inspect.
That's unfortunate. All right, well, let's start taking a look through some of these. And Iglini, since it's your first time doing this, generally the system I like to use for interviews is while I'm covering one game and having it up on screen so that viewers can see it while we talk about it, if you could head on over to the next replay and just identify what some of the moments were that we might want to ask about so that we can move quickly through
on
them.
it.
Okay, do you want me to be watching the replay as well?
Yeah,
or I
if
could
you'd
watch
like.
on your stream to see what's going on?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to be going over some of these key moments, anything that we might have missed some perspective on.
Okay, see if this works.
So let's see. First game on pub. Kotte was Oprah as the spy, and you were the sniper. And it looks like Oprah won with a classic contact, seduce, and 1 inspect. We heard from Ranmilia that you were mentioning that you were watching the fingerprints really closely there, instead of expecting a statue finish. Is that because you'd done research on Kotte and felt that he was more likely to win with fingerprints?
It's more that I'm used to playing pub with Purloin on, and so I'm used to spending some attention on tracking bar visitors. There weren't a lot of statue visitors in this game, so I was like, I had to look at something, and so I picked fingerprints.
Yeah, I mean, pub often comes down to just deciding, if that statue visitor is actually the spy and if they could be finished, and it's a tough choice to make.
Yeah, I think I was just not quick enough to think she could be finished here.
All right. Do we have anything in the second game, Iglini?
Alright, the second game was the one with the time ads. I believe we got, yes, highlighted for statues and shot at banana bread. So, one of the quickest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't hold back. I wanted to do early time ad and then just see who took fingerprints if somebody might get themselves shot.
Yeah, and you
And
were
then
in
I
a
just couldn't stop
position.
myself doing missions.
Yeah, you were in a position here where you could have won with a second fingerprint and a seduce, so you might not have needed to contact. Did you? So basically, it was an impulsive decision to just go for the contact while it was
Yeah, just
available.
not enough patience on my part.
Makes sense. What do we have in the third game?
Oh, the third
Oh, never
game.
mind.
It was,
I remember.
it was that game.
I actually didn't even get a chance to see this bug. I was watching the scoreboard and I was updating the scoreboard, and by the time I was done, the game was over.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see why you saw this bug.
It was a nice try. Chaos and, well,
Yeah, it was the kind of book that you as a spy you might take thinking it's time of chaos, 50-50, they're just not looking at all.
So our fourth game.
Oh, Kotte is in the stream chat now as well.
Oh yeah, Kotte, I mean, if you want to join voice chat, feel free, or you can just offer some perspective from chat, would be appreciated.
Yeah, if we both join voice chat at once, it might be too much self-deprecation for one dream, really.
Yeah, so this fourth game, Orac, you were the spy as Hare or Oprah. I believe you did an early time ad, is that correct?
Again, yeah, it was the same game plan. I was like, well, since I didn't follow through on my get someone shot game plan last time, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll do an early time ad, different window this time.
Yeah,
And then still did missions.
it looks like highlights came off immediately for the time ad, lowlights on everyone else, and then you got shot for the banana bread. I was wondering about the timing of the shot, and maybe Kotte can explain this for us. Because even if you'd seen the time ad, Hare hadn't, done anything. The purloin was still there. She hadn't been to a statue, and she hadn't been near the ambassador to bug. So, were you just fairly confident that she did the time ad, and we're just waiting for anything to shoot? I'm asking Kotte, but it's up to Kotte if he'll answer us, since he's not in voice chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kotte says that he actually felt behind and was suspicious of the time ad. So,
Yeah, I suppose one thing with time ad on the soft tell maps is it does put pressure on the sniper if you notice it, but you're not sure who did it. You're like, oh no, everybody could complete now.
yeah, because there were a few other highlights, presumably for people who could have done the time ad. So it actually makes sense that Kotte might have been feeling a bit behind if he wasn't certain who did it, and I guess just shot someone who was talking during banana bread. Yeah, Kotte, if you want to join headquarters voice chat, you can feel free to join.
Yeah, let's have a party.
All right, Iglini, that was the last pub one. What do we have for high rise?
Alright, this one was Mission Wins for Kotte with the very nice, practically invisible bug from what I'm seeing.
What time
I
is
don't
that?
think if you caught it, Orac.
No, I didn't see this one.
What time is the bug?
The bug is 121.
Great, let's
Yeah,
take a look at that
it's
from the
invisible.
sniper side.
Hello.
Yeah. I
Hey,
even went
Gotti.
back to the replay after I saw that Kotte had done bug. Had to watch it on the replay, and I was like, oh, it was there.
Yeah, we're just watching your
I was
bug
like
here,
mildly
Gotti.
suspicious of the path, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think the path is all you get for that. I mean, I'm looking at it,
Mm.
and you just don't see the arm because the arm is inside Taft the whole time, and you can't really tell
Yeah,
if
it's
it's swinging or
really.
not.
Yeah, Zero Doom says the path is really sus, and yeah, I probably just need to get better at crediting bug for paths like that.
And Cody, what we were wondering about was the decision to go to statues. Can you explain why you went for one statue visit when you had already done the bug?
You hear me?
Yes.
Ah, nice. Well, my game plan got totally destroyed. I didn't know what to do, and so I decided to go to statues.
But why would you say your game plan felt destroyed? You'd gotten a successful bug off and a contact. You even had one fingerprint and half a seduce. So it was a lot of progress. Did you feel like you were behind?
Yeah, I totally got stressed, I think. My spy game isn't very solid, I would say.
Well,
Most of the time, I'm replaying Sniper. The other sets from SCL, and so my spy game, I would say.
I mean, to us it looked like a very, very smart move to go to statues after you had already bugged because it could make it look to the sniper like you're not finished, that you'll need a second statue visit, and so they won't shoot you. So we thought you were
Yeah.
making a brilliant play. And Orac, was anything like that going through your mind about General? Were you tracking General's progress? You know, one fingerprint, one statue?
I think I was tracking the fingerprint, but I don't think. Well, I don't recall remembering. No, I don't recall noticing him. I think I came out of this game thinking nobody had been to statues at all.
It was a very quick visit. He only did one cycle, and it was the one at the back, which was covered up.
Yeah, there was probably something going on at the left at the same time.
Great. Do we have anything from the second high-rise game?
Alright, the second one was where we purloined right at the end. I believe at the end we were trying to get the briefcase to complete fingerprint, but well, Amber came to us.
Yeah, it was another one where I thought I might slow play a bit, but there were no real suspects, and Amber wasn't touching enough stuff, so the purloin was just a last second. Nobody else is going to get shot here.
Yeah, that one
You
looked a
only
little
got-
bit unfortunate for you because it looked like you wanted to pick up the briefcase. Did it have a fingerprint on it over here at 33 seconds?
I think
Yeah.
somebody had already touched it at that point, so it was
It had a
hard, maybe.
difficult one.
Yeah.
It would have been glorious to hit it though.
And then the ambassador was just standing near it, and so you weren't able to pick it up, even if you wanted
Yeah.
to. That makes sense. Cody, do you think if Wheels had picked up that briefcase and gotten a difficult fingerprint, would you have shot him?
Well, I don't think so because I wasn't really sus of him. The only thing why he got highlighted here was the BB.
Yeah, and that was just because he was the one talking during it, I suppose.
Yep, I think I highlighted all of them. Yeah,
Oh no, it was a green contact, so he wasn't talking during it. It's just that the suspected double agent wasn't in conversation.
Mhm.
yes.
So it wasn't necessarily a high suspect despite being a highlight, so it's unfortunate that the fingerprint plan didn't quite work out. What do we have in the third game?
Okay, this was the 2 bug game. From what I'm checking, the first one was a bit visible. You can see the hands
What time
going
is
back
this?
at the end. The first bug starts at 1:37.
Yeah, and this is when, Cody, you entered conversation and tried to do a walking bug, but it didn't quite take. And then what time is the second bug at?
Oh, it's right at the end. Let me check.
Yeah, so the good news is this first bug is not really visible from the
Yeah,
sniper.
you see the hand snap back, but
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
the
see
hand
that at all.
snapping back you definitely see, actually.
Yeah, the last one is at 54 seconds.
I think at this point I'm looking at Teal and Irish, or Kerry as I always call her. Because Kerry has fingerprints, and Rocker has fingerprints as well. And I'm like, is Kerry behaving spy-like? So my attention's just completely in the wrong place here.
Right, but you do end up
Oh, I'm
shooting
there
Cody
as
for the second bug.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
unfortunately the
issue
arm on the second one is a little
with the
bit more
bug on
visible.
pub.
Yeah, it was very similar to the one on pub.
Yeah.
So did they in fact only shoot you for bad bugs?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, hopefully I can get a reputation for shooting every bug attempt, and then people will stop bugging against me, and then I won't have to watch it anymore.
Great. Do we have anything
Really
on the
hard.
fourth high-rise game?
The fourth, we got shot for inspects. We had a very early banana bread and got highlight for, well, white banana bread.
Mhm.
Yeah, that seemed like an unfortunate case of just not a lot of other statue visitors.
Yeah.
Was it sort of a shot by default, Cody?
Well, I had three main suspects with Twin and Teal and Kane for speaking during BB. Like you said, never visit statues, or only once. Teal did, I think. And Kane did twice, so I decided to shoot him.
That makes
Twin
sense.
didn't do a lot after.
I was
this.
really annoyed as well because there were some good drive-by attempts there towards the end before I went into statues that I just
Yeah,
wasn't ready for. If I'd been a bit more, like, had an eye on the ambassador a bit more, I think I could
would
have bugged there.
worried because Ambassador was between those two conversation cycles. Circles.
Yeah, and then we had this last gallery game to close it out. So I had one question for you, Cody. When you left the building here at 1:38 to go get your contact in, how were you feeling when you saw how full the conversation was? Were you a little bit worried?
I was like, okay, am I going to do the stop thing like the AIs do? And I decided not to do it because I felt behind again. And so I really wanted to get this BB.
Orac, did you have any suspicion about Teal for jamming herself in there instead of turning around?
I was not looking at that front convo at all. I kind of looked at it every so often. There was nothing very interesting going on, like the amber. There was an interesting thing early on where the amber got jammed in the doorway against someone who was returning briefcase. But apart from that, there was just nothing interesting at the front at all. So that's why I didn't see the time ad either. I was just looking at the back somewhere. I think at this point I was very suspicious of Pearls.
Let's take a look and see if Pearls
She did a bizarre
split.
briefcase return, and she had been to books and walked off with books, and she did a very short stop with a book, which made me think she was going to do microfilm. So I was really watching her very closely at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pearls isn't in conversation for the banana bread. However, if you're not watching at the moment of it, she walks away and it looks like she's coming from the conversation.
Yeah, and I was too busy. Like, I got all of my highlights were out of convo for that, so I was low-lighting all of those.
Yeah,
I felt really good about the banana bread because it eliminated so many top suspects.
Yeah, let's take a look at this bug attempt from Kotte, which had a little bit of a missed pad.
Horrible.
First, it was a bit noticeable. You can see the hand at the end.
You can see the
Yeah,
arm a
but
little
I
bit.
should say, although I'm zoomed in here, I'm not really watching Amber. I'm looking at Walt Disney at the back in case he's doing animation transfer. Because like I was suspicious of Pearls at this point, and she's reading. So I'm watching her and I'm watching Walt Disney, and then Amber comes and stands directly on top of Pearls' toes. So I can't take my eyes off that at all.
Yeah, and then you highlight Teal
fair
for the
enough.
first statue visit, but she goes back for another one at the end.
Yeah,
and
right
she
at
just
the end
isn't
when
your
I'm not
top
looking.
suspect. And I believe, yeah, we were just talking about this earlier, Kotte, I think, before you joined. And Orac was saying that he was actually watching the ambassador at the back, not really planning to shoot Teal there. All right, do we have, Iglini, did you have any other questions?
Orac, did you notice at least the back path? It was had a kick at the end, like we turn into the books to not well miss a path.
Which, what
I
time
did
is
not.
this?
It's 57 seconds.
Oh, that's a very, very slight little bump in the path there. Oh, it's because of the bug, I see.
No, I didn't see that at all.
I think that was pretty hard to see, unless you're watching the ambassador for a bug path. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
kind of.
super
I mean,
noticeable.
yeah, I mean it's visible that she's like changing direction.
Yeah.
Even if I'd seen it, I don't think I'd have been sure that it was a bad path.
Yeah, you can only credit the bug.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
we've already established I'm not very good at crediting bug.
Yeah, but if you see them, you shoot for them. That's where the 2 sniper wins did come from.
Yeah. Yeah, if you actually put your hand through the ambassador, I will shoot you. Anything less than that, you're fine.
All right, well, congratulations to Kotte and well played to both of you. Thank you for letting us cast you, and thanks for joining us for this interview.
Well, thanks for the insightful commentary. I'm going to go watch the VOD now, as soon as
me
you shut
too.
down.
All right. Have
night.
a
And
good
also,
afternoon.
what?
And thank you as well to Iglini for co-casting. And this was your first time, and I think it went really well.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do it.
And thank you to everyone for watching. And coming up this week, tomorrow night at I believe 9:30 EDT on T-Flame's channel, there will be a live cast of Zero Doom versus Quicklime. And then Friday night on T-Flame's channel, he will be solo casting myself versus Legorv. So with that, we are signing out. Good afternoon.
All right.
Or good
Good
night.
afternoon, everyone. Thanks for watching.